So what's with the new gig?
I could hardly creep about in the morning, Sir Frankie.
What, did you phone?
No, I was out collecting for Dr. Bernardo's, wasn't I?
What did they say?
Maybe we have a deal.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. It's not like them. I still reckon we'll have to top you, George.
You won't top me, Nick. Not while your brother still stands a chance of getting out. You're a shrewd player.
Don't patronise me. You sound like a shrink.
Wasn't.
Shut it! We're going to move out of here soon, Frankie. It's getting too bleeding dark.
He's getting weaker, Nick. I don't reckon I'm moving it.
Well, you just lost the boat.
What are we going to use for wheels?
You can go out and nick some.
Yeah, okay.
About a half-mile radius from the phone kiosk, I would say.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Only tea bags, sir, I'm afraid. Spiked up with the drop of the hard stuff there.
What's gone wrong here?
I'm not quite with you, sir.
A police officer under your command has been shot and held to ransom. Eric, you have completely failed to initiate a proper offensive police action to locate, isolate, and deal with the criminals concerned. The canteen is full of off-duty officers. They've come in. They're not deployed.
Well, with respect, sir.
With respect, Eric, I took you out of division and brought you onto the staff here at Central because you had all the hallmarks of a high flyer. You had a good degree. You worked well in uniform. Your 4 years at CID were all reported on favorably. I put out 3 out-of-town detectives under your command, or 3 strangers, with Sergeant Singer to advise you so that you could flex your muscles a bit. Exercise a bit of leadership and imagination.
This is a busy desk, sir. I've got a hell of a lot of other things to think about.
Eric, are you aware there's a police officer out there somewhere who's very likely to lose his life?
Of course I'm aware.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I overheard your row with D.S. Singer. He was out of line, but the bloody thing is, Eric, he had a point.
If you think that I'm not up to the job, sir.
It's not a question of being up to it or not up to it. It's a question of me being wise enough to make the best use of a first-rate officer with a great deal of promise.
I'd be grateful if you'd come to the point, sir. I've been in the job long enough to know when someone's leading up to something.
The point is, Eric, we have an opening for a first-class brain in the uniform branch. It involves coordinating our next traffic computer generation. It carries an automatic promotion, and the equipment arrives in 2 years' time.
Sounds a very interesting job, sir. In the meantime, we have a kidnapping case to deal with.
Please don't take this personally. I'm putting Sergeant Singer in charge of this operation, under my direct command.
Singer?
He'll be made up temporarily to the detective inspector. Perhaps you'll be good enough to arrange the documentation.
Okay. What'd you get, Frankie?
Not a tranny.
Good thinking, unobtrusive. Oh. So where are we off to, then? Airport. We'll have Johnny meet us at the plane. We'll take the copper with us to Dublin.
Political, innit? You really reckon the Bill's going to hand John over?
No bleeding option. Isn't that right, copper? Look at him, he knows it. Magic!
Hey, just a minute. What's with the smile, copper?
Smiling at Nick here, feeling my collar.
You got any plans to get smart, copper? Forget it. In.
TC Bravo on the Granada. And units watching rebels' houses and halls.
Good. Phones.
Yes, sir, there's an officer in every post office location, taking calls live and passing on tapes for collection. Anything red hot is patched through here. Well, they're still conversing.
I see. And still we're whistling in the dark.
Dead right. So I'm releasing Joe Revel and most of the wedding guests. I'll put Willis on him with a 10-man backup. My guess is that Bullman, if he's still alive, will try to work a split between Nick Thomas and Frankie Revel. If Frankie runs to Daddy, he could be in business.
Let's hope so.
You don't think this'll work, do you, George? Well, that's all right, because if it comes to shooters, you're a dead one.
It'll come to shooters, all right. The only way out of the airport is feet first.
And what's that supposed to mean? SAS?
SAS.
SAS. Now, you don't think they're going to send in the army, do you, for a mother-eating copper like you? Do me a favour, George.
I know my boss, Sonny.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Well, look at it this way. Down south, they've had their Borkum Street Spaghetti House siege. Big brass up here are dying to have a go at something like that. Puts the local police force on the map.
Shut your mouth, filth. You, don't encourage him.
And as for the SAS, well, they don't let them out socially anymore, you know, because all they ever do is kill people. Diet of raw meat and Polish vodka. Straight up.
Get off.
Yeah. They make Nick here look like Helmut Schweitzer. This airport scene would be right up their street.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to see, won't we?
Shut it, Frank. This time I mean it.
Sarge, Mr. Singer, he's back.
All right. Hello, Nick. It's Dave Singer here.
Right. I want Johnny at the airport at 10 o'clock tonight. I want a British Airways plane standing in front of the East Perimeter fence. Pilot and navigator only.
The East Perimeter, Nick. Now, which one is that?
Yeah. Thanks. Frank, if you get me out of this, I'll let you disappear. No collar. Call it a quid pro quo.
Call it a what?
Untie me. I reckon I'm fit enough to drive. A couple of mile or two from here you could get out, and then they'll pick up Nicholas, put him away in the funny house where he belongs.
Good stuff, George.
Believe me, son, they won't hold their fire just because I'm with you. If you don't untie me, you'll be a corpse on the tarmac by midnight. You ever seen a man with his head shot through? You'll be so heavy with lead, it'll take 4 men to lift you.
Yeah, well, this is dead stupid.
Yes. You certainly came prepared for a society wedding, didn't you? Oh, God!
All right, it's just circulation. I'll drive anyway. Go, Nick!
Bastard!
Aye, that's our Freddy.
You mean Frank, Mr. Revel?
We always call him Freddy. It's what his sister called him when they were kids. Can I stay here?
We'll get him properly laid out in
the mortuary. There was never much trouble, you know. You can play the clarinet. Do you know that, Dave? It's not on your bloody files.
No, Joe, it's not. I'll get the pathologist to speed things up. You'll need a funeral arranger.
Aye. I will and all.
This seems much to you as it is to me. However, the third phone call came from the kiosk near the bit of waste ground where the body of the murdered Frank Revel was found. None of the few local residents appear to have seen or heard anything, but the general opinion of the interviewing officers is that the claim to get involved.
I thought you were supposed to be getting some kip.
Yeah, well, that can wait, Governor.
We monitor the situation as it is.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Sometimes when you look at an ops map long enough, it gets like a crystal ball. You can see the ground and the people on it. Think I'm going to do land?
No, you should get some rest.
That'd be all. Thank you very much.
How did Revel take it?
How do you think? My guess is the Revel organisation are going to go after Nick in a big way.
Taking the law into their own hands? Shocking.
I reckon they'll have more success than us. Joe Revel runs a big circuit. He's got more mouths on his payroll than me.
So if we keep his organisers under offer, they might just find what we're looking for.
Well, I do believe you can read my mind.
It's going to be a close-run thing. Those last few minutes. I better get on out there.
Derek. You all right?
I'm beautiful.
I've issued shooters. You better take one.
Well, the skipper and me, Chief, we make kind of a point of not carrying.
Do it. That's an instruction. And Vanessa as well. Where is she?
Kipping. I gave her the keys to my pad. It's just round the corner.
And you're still here? Wait till I tell George.
Don't do that, Gov. He'd be insufferable.
Here we are. Sunday papers, some milk, fresh orange juice, bag of Baps. If you promise no tricks, George, I'll sit you up and feed you some Baps and milk.
Not it.
Down, Ponzo. Now we'll see how you feel about midday. Calling off made the headlines, George. Policeman shot by a London gang and hostage drama. London gang, I like that. Don't look like a gang. These Baps are bleeding magic, George.
All right. Harry. Try that.
Oh, terrific.
Post office transcripts of Revel's phone traffic are on their way. He's been busy.
Prognosis?
Joe Revel has set his boys after Nick. He wants him dead, and they're not going to hang about.
That's understandable.
The problem is, when one of his executives asked what about the copper, Joe's reply was he must die too. The stink about that will finish the commerce mob for all time, but make it look like Nick did it.
How did you get the exact words, David?
At the branch, sir, they've been very cooperative in providing equipment and personnel.
But not once.
I'm not too well up on the legal side, sir.
It's just that one likes to be aware. And the rug one is standing upon is on a slippery surface.
I'm going to tell you something. If you had let us go instead of keeping us locked up, that would never have happened.
How'd you make that up, Willie?
Because we could have spoke to the boy, that's how.
You don't know him. You've been running your own show in Glasgow these past 8 years.
Look, I know the type. And I know his family, sure. I'm telling you, Mr. Singer, you could have had your Polis back by this time, without a murder being committed.
You changed your bloody tune, haven't you?
Hey, what are you giving us? I'm trying to help you! Sorry. Do you know is your man still alive?
He better be.
Aye. It's gone beyond the joke now, all right. Look, tell you what. How's about letting Johnny and Aristotle and me put our heads together and see if we can come up with something?
Constable. Pick Carmos and his uncle up from the cells.
Yes, sir. Come in, please. This is 5, over.
Where are they? Over.
Corner of Grange Road and Victoria Street. They're doing a house-to-house, over.
Yeah? Well, I hope they have more luck than us, over.
Right. Hang about. One of them's going to the phone box.
Same phone box Nick Carmos used last night, over.
Right. It's one of the faces that was at the wedding. Hope your post office lads are awake, over.
Don't worry. If you can string more than 3 words together, we'll get him. Over.
Yeah. Right, kick Vanessa out of bed and get her to meet me. Out.
Joe? It's me. I think we've cracked it. I found a couple of working girls who heard most of it, and they also give us a good line on the Vatel, you know what I mean?
Anything more from Willis? Straight away, okay?
It's Nick Carmos again. Call box.
All right. Morning, Nick. It's Dave Singer here. How can I help?
All right, copper. Is this airliner jacked up or not?
First things first, Nick.
How is Sergeant Bowman?
He's alive.
We've got a plane ready for you, Nick. And the money for you. When will you be at the plane? The airline need to know. Nick!
Yeah, well, the plan's changed. You tell Johnny I'll phone him at our usual bar in Dublin. 6 o'clock tonight. If he's there and he says there's no trouble, you'll get your Georgie back.
There it is, Johnny. He's killed Frankie, quid your pitch with Joe Revel. If he tops my man, your entire organisation will go down the tubes. The illegal stuff in a week. The legal businesses, the betting shops, the blue cinemas, the ground racing. The entire lot out within a month. By hook or by crook. You have my word on that.
Mr. Singer, this is getting out of proportion. Johnny, give the officer our proposition.
Mr. Carmos and me, we would like Willie here to speak with Nick. Persuade him to be more reasonable and turn in this caper. As God's my judge, Mr. Singer. I didn't want any part of all this. Your own men will tell you.
Okay, Muckley. If I need you, I'll give you a shout.
We have no wish for a confrontation with the police, Mr. Singer.
Well, Mr. Carmos, that's exactly what you got.
Hello, 01, this is call sign 5, over.
Go ahead, 5.
We're in a scrapyard, location north end of Wharfdale Road, over.
01, wait, over.
Derek, we have reports of another sus mobile approaching your vicinity. What have you got there? Over. I'll take a look.
Chief, there's the usual stuff. Loads of junk cars. But they seem to have taken an interest in a beat-up old van. Transit. Over.
We have a transit. F registration nicked last night. Blue. Over.
Can't see the registration, Chief, but this one's blue. Out.
We're in business.
Are you sure they're in there?
That's the van.
Right. Do it.
You still want the copper put down?
Yes.